Have you ever wondered where a person's motives truly lie? Dr. Samuel Cruz has dedicated his life to researching just that and has developed software that might know you more than you know yourself. And it can even help you match your personality to the right job, the right partner, and more. So we have here with us Professor Sam. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Ria. It's good to be here. Your show is very famous for disseminating technical, professional information, and it's helping society here in the Philippines.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. And what we're going to talk about with you is particularly interesting. Just to give everyone a background, you have a doctorate degree, right? And you specialize in artificial intelligence.
Yes, that's right. And one of my research concentrations in the past 15 years has to link artificial intelligence with psychoanalytics. It was 15 years ago, a long time ago, and we were lucky, I think.
How have you been able to link those two? Because they seem, you know, to be very different disciplines, artificial intelligence and then psychoanalysis.
Well, that's the story of the 21st century. It's the convergence of different sciences, whether it's in genetics, electronics, the field of medicine. And that's the trend. And it's the same thing. Professors meeting in the middle of a park in a university and they exchange ideas. For my case, I was always in the artificial intelligence robotics field because I studied in Detroit. And at that time, the 70s, the only companies that could afford robots were the car companies. It was so expensive. Anything, the beginning technologies also very expensive. So I was exposed to that, and I was lucky because that so happened to be my passion as well. So I'm kind of lucky in that sense. So when I came back, I worked in the States and did a lot of research there on weapon systems, also in industrial robotics. But I had to come here because as an only son, I had to take care of my mom who had health problems. So I stayed on, and my mom said that, you know, we're a family of professors since the 1930s, so I joined it. So I became chairman at De La Salle University for automated manufacturing. And there I continued the research. And we're very heavy into robotics. And at the time, we were doing a lot of robots. This might be something new, news to the Filipino community here. We were delivering robots to Mercedes-Benz. We were delivering robots to many German companies here locally designing. And because it's very difficult to understand how we can do that, but there are very, very great professors and researchers in the United States, Filipinos. I'm just middle of the road level. There's more doctors who are greater than me, more intelligent. But anyway, that's how it started. So I was in artificial intelligence, then I was into robotics. But I found that the mechanics, the electronics, the electricals, and I wanted more. So I went the artificial intelligence side. I tried to investigate the relationship of what the mind really is. And we found that very exciting. I did. So through the years, 10, 12 years, I always had 20 to 30 research assistants for whatever university I was in. So if I was in La Salle, I had a lot of research assistants. When I was in Ateneo, I had Father Debres gave me a lot of, Father Bacnabara gave me a lot of researchers. And I tried to link psychoanalysis and artificial intelligence to find out how the brain really works. So we model the brain biologically, biochemically, electronically. And so we came out with this type of technology which links. Now, we were lucky because during that time, they finally discovered a lot of machines that go microfiber technology that goes in each and every neuron.
Right.
You know, they had finessed a lot of the imaging machines for the brain, fMRI, functionality imaging machines. And they finally found out which of the theories in psychology, this is about 5 years ago, which one was the true framework of the mind.
Because they were able to go inside the brain. Right.
So they also looked into psychoanalytic theory. And Freud died in 1945 because of cancer, right? So he can further his research. So they found out, all the top neuroscientists in the United States, and you can Google this, information's public, they discovered that it's psychoanalytic theory, where you have the id, the consciousness,
Right.
where you have the physicality, the libido, where you have the unconscious. All of these are actually there. They know the locations, they know the relationships, the pathways, and so on. So finally what? The conclusion is it's the change in paradigm. You have to change the way you look at things.
Sure.
This is the 21st century. And a lot of beliefs have to change, whether it's in stem cells, whether it's in electronics, whether
Social
it's
media?
social media, yes,
Right.
of course.
Yeah.
And all of this is happening, and we're just part of the trend.
Right. You've been talking about the way you've been able to bring those two things together, and you do have software that does this. What exactly does your software do? Is it like taking a quiz, like a personality quiz, and then it comes out with a printout, or?
Okay. The thing is, it's psychoanalysis because it was proven to be the true framework of the mind, according to Nobel Prize winner Dr. Kandel and Dr. Ramachandran, Dr. Singer, and all of these doctors, and the doctors before them, for about 90 years, had developed a lot of researches in psychoanalysis. Okay? And they used to call it pseudoscience, but not anymore. It's now the framework of the mind. So what was this all about? You remember, if an actress, it's very expensive. You go to a psychotherapist,
Yeah.
and you're the only one who can afford $1,000 an hour, a session.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you draw, you write, and they interpret this. You go to a guidance counselor, that's the same thing you do.
Right.
And it's always been proprietary information. It's
Right.
never been divulged. You ask anybody here, it's not being disseminated, and it should not be. And besides, very difficult to cheat it. Very extremely difficult. Even a trained psychologist will hesitate to even try to cheat it. I remember the foundation of here, the lead foundation, the president here was a psychoanalyst, former Atenean father, and he was stuck taking the test and knew how to cheat it. His finger was stuck with the pen for 5 minutes. What's going on? I asked him. He said, "Oh, I can't cheat it. I can't because the thing that I'm going to cheat is coming from the same mind."
Yes,
So it's
yeah.
the same thing. So
Really
these are
interesting.
technology. Now, how about the software? So the psychoanalyst has eyes, right, that recognize how an object feature is. So we modeled the part of the brain here, the cellular portion. We imitated it. We imitated the biological layers, the number of cells, and the interaction biochemically within the cells, the electronic properties. So it's like a Frankensteinian invention.
Right.
So and then how about the 90 years of knowledge, the expert systems in that? We merged that also at the same time.
Okay, so you're not really contradicting old bodies of work. You're actually, I guess,
Making it
confirming them.
available
Right.
to the regular person, to the human resource specialist who needs to get a person do a proper job. If he's a air traffic controller, that he doesn't fall asleep while an airplane is landing.
Right.
Things like that.
Okay.
So that's what it does.
Okay, now your work in science has been really, really interesting and really groundbreaking. For budding scientists out there, what's the best advice that you could give them if they really want to pursue their passions and create research and products that can really, really aid society?
I think you said the key word, passion. That's the most important thing. If you know yourself that this is your interest, please pursue it. But when you pursue it, you gotta be aggressive. You gotta have the drive. You gotta to be assertive. You gotta develop a part of you which is finally, if you're not extroversive, learn to be one.
Right.
Learn to meet people.
Learn
Join
to be
us-
like Dr. Sam here. He does not have a problem with that.
Are you sure this is me? Maybe I'm a robot.
Maybe.
I'll step in later. The real
The
Sam.
real Sam. Right. But that's
So,
great
yes,
advice.
The passion, and then you see, don't be shy. This is an important factor. Scientists, when they come in here in the universities, because I taught also in Mapua, Ateneo, and
Yeah.
LaSalle, they're so conservative. They're afraid to stake their name.
Right.
It's like, I have a belief. I have a theory.
Yeah.
Stick to it. Whether you succeed 5 years from now when you're deriving the equations with any research scientist, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine whether you fail or not. That's the point.
As long as
that's
you're
your
following
social
your
duty
passion.
as a scientist.
That's right. Okay. Well
Yes.
said, Doc. We are running out of time, but
Yes.
thank you so much
Yes.
for sharing your experiences
Yes.
with us here.
I just want to end our very nice session here by saying our system is available for the enterprises. You'll find along the secret of the mind of the job applicant. This is for human resource specialists in hiring in the call centers, hiring in industry, and for the clinician who has to help the overseas workers. Yes,
nice. Very
and for the educator who has to help the children develop better. And also we have the retail. For social media, developers can come to us. We can be partners. You can access our engine where you draw and write.
Right.
You use the psychoanalytic methodology where you cannot write.
Okay. So everything is going to be on keitherpsyche.com.
Yes.
Right. Okay,
Okay,
great. Thank you so
Thanks,
much, Doc.
Leah, for having me.
Thank you.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll get to know two entrepreneurs who took advantage of social media platforms. That is coming right up. Shop Talk will be right back.